In accordance to the league's health and safety protocols, the initial scheduled games of Terra Firma versus Alaska and TNT versus Magnolia have been postponed. This after 4 TNT players returned tests that were either positive or need to be confirmed for COVID-19. Phoenix and Northport will push through tonight at 3 p.m. as both teams look for their first win of the season. Then at 6 p.m., Alaska and Magnolia will face each other as they look to stay undefeated. After the first set of games this past weekend, tonight we'll break down the most exciting players in the 2021 PBA Philippine Cup. Joining us for our discussion is PBA Rush anchor Jutt Sulit.
The one and only.
Yes.
Jutt.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Danny and Boom. Boom, I'm with you. It's kind of weird to be on the other side being interviewed by Danny when we usually are the ones interviewing the athletes.
I know. But hey, here we go. So Danny, you shoot first. Again, let's ask him about these players that he has prepared for us.
Of course, we'll start off with Calvin Abueva.
Yeah, I named Calvin Abueva one of the players I'm looking forward to. As we all know, he's moved to a different team. He's now with Magnolia. But the thing about it is that in his first game with Magnolia, he remained the beast. You know, the beast that we all know. We can take a look at the 26 points and the 10 rebounds, but what struck me the most is the 11 fouls that he drew in that game. And that just painted a picture that siya pa rin si The Beast na alam natin, you know, even from San Sebastian before, and then of course with Alaska, with Phoenix, he's able to join this new team and insert his style of play without really disrupting what Magnolia used to do because their main man, Paul Lee, still scored 21 points.
Interesting. And you know, Jutt, as we know, Calvin is must-see TV whether he's playing or not, di ba? Parang hinahanap talaga siya ng tao. So, okay, your first guy on the list is Calvin Abueva. We all agree. Now, who else are you thinking about in this list of most exciting players?
Well, I'm also excited to see, I was excited to see Poy Aram and how he played in his first game with TNT. Of course, si Poy, nakita na natin yan with TNT in the PBA bubble. But right now, what we saw from Poy, a double-double in his first game, and the manner that he got it, Boom and Danny, it was rather silent. Hindi na siya yung parang sa NLEX before sa Blackwater na kailangan nilang puntahan talaga for him to be able to get his production. Poy was just, you know, trying to help out, picking his spots, and just making the most of being around veterans like Jason Castro and the rest of the gang.
All right. 17 points, 7 rebounds. Oh, sorry, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists off the bench, as you mentioned, just to score your point, Jutt. Yeah.
So your next
even 3 blocks.
Your next guy on the list is Mac Bello, who's traded from Blackwater.
Yes, Danny. Mac Bello debuted for Meralco, scored 27 points, a career high in his debut with the Bolts. And, you know, I'm also very interested to see how this story develops, yung Mac Bello now with Meralco, because they had played 2 games. Yes, first game, 27 points, career high. But in his second game with Meralco, actually 7 points lang siya. And, you know, they still won that game. A lot of other guys starred. In the first game, he took 18 shots. In the second game, took only 5. In both situations, Meralco got the win. So I think there's still a lot to see in what role Mac Bello will eventually really fall into with Meralco.
And hopefully, of course, you know, sometimes in situations like this or these, Jutt, when you get traded, parang may re-energized yung player. So let's see what's going to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong. The next player that you're talking about is the player of the week.
Yes, it is. It's Raynam Batak of the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters. You know, Boom, when we take a look at the stats from the first 2 games of Raynam Batak, I think a lot of people will see 20 points per game. But let's talk about the 10 rebounds. This is a guy who plays the 2 guard and even had to shift a little bit to the point guard for Rain or Shine. He's been stellar since his collegiate days. Pero yung mga nakaka-partner kong analyst, even they are kind of surprised at how quickly Ray has been able to rise to stardom in the PBA. And I think we're just seeing it really right now come to a full fruition. No? And 21 points and 12 rebounds in their last game. I think the vets of Rain or Shine like Bo Belga, Gabe Norwood, handa na sila to really pass on the torch. They'll still be there, but they are ready to pass on the torch to younger guys like Tambatak and Mokon. And boy, these youngins are ready to take over as well.
Okay, next on, as you talk about youngsters, another young star, CJ Perez is next on your list. Jutt?
Yes, CJ Perez, obviously, the most talked about trade over the offseason, moving over to the San Miguel Beermen. Did he have the best debut for the Beermen? Possibly no. Those are great stats, 17 points, 8 rebounds, but he actually was just 7 of 18 from the field for SMB. But, as a team, the Beermen in that game, all of them could have played better, of course. Our prayers go up to Terrence Romeo, who suffered an injury in that game. But yun din, same with Mac Bello. I'm interested to see paano pa magde-develop yung chemistry with CJ. We know these teams haven't really had the luxury of a lot of practices together dahil nga dun sa mga protocols. And CJ will just find himself there. And the great thing about it is, I know I've been saying it a lot, pero yung mga veterano din, the previous players or the mainstays of SMB, kitang-kita nyo na willing din sila to give way to CJ.
And Jutt, just to end this conversation, we have to touch on the comebacking Mar Fajardo. Regardless of what happens, this is exciting news. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh yeah, I mean, Mar Fajardo, actually, coming into that game, in their first game, he was actually reported to be playing lang, limited minutes, syempre, sabi nung una 3 minutes per quarter, but he actually ended up playing 18 minutes, and I think that's a good sign for San Miguel, even though Mar, not the biggest of games for him, just 5 points, 2 of 7 from the field, but hey, we gotta give this guy some time to get back into game timing, maybe game shape as well. Let's remember, kung yung ibang players, months hindi nakapaglaro, si Mar, I think close to 2 years siya, away from the actual action of the PBA. But I have a feeling, guys, that when Mar finds his rhythm once again, he's gonna be out for that 7th MVP trophy.
Well, it's good to see him play regardless of what happens. It's good to see all the players get together and play again. And Jutt, it's good to see you as you list all of these exciting players na parang pang mythical 5 na, no? Lahat ng posisyon, kompleto. Thank you very much for joining us, Jutt. We appreciate it. It's good to see you, and we'll talk to you soon.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, guys.